Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel for episode 2 of the Daily Nugget. Um, Today, we're going to be talking about the importance of long term food storage and the different ways to do it. But before we get into that, and before I say hello to everybody in the chat, I switched the members only chat. Instead of having it at the beginning of the stream when there's literally nothing to talk about or no questions to be answered, I decided to move the members only chat to the end of the stream. So what will happen is once we're done, sharing more stories and talking back and forth, and once we start to wind it down, I will lock the chat for only members and then have a Q&A with just members. So I make sure that I don't miss any of those important questions and miss the chance to just hang out with the members for a little while. So that's probably what I'm going to do from now on is instead of doing it at the beginning, just do it at the end. Because obviously there's gives an opportunity for more people to be involved. And it gives, at the like I said, at the beginning of the show, there really isn't any questions. People just are waiting to talk about something before the questions pop up. So it's literally kind of weird doing it at the beginning. So what we're going to do is have it at the end of the show. Cool. Let's see who all we got in here tonight, or so far tonight. G2, awesome. Welcome. G2 is a new member, or she rejoined. She was one of my original members the first time before I shut all the memberships down and went to the $1.99. Yeah, I went as cheap as it would let me do it. So now all the memberships are $1.99. There are no different tiers. If you're a member, you're a member. All the perks are there for all you guys. Georgia Peach, hello. Cherry Leach, hello. In between prepping, what's going on, Nick? Militant Roots, Be Charming. Hoot, what's up, Hoot? Yankee Watchdog, Tammy C. Hutch, what's up, my brother? Feeling? Did you heal up after that butt whooping we got last night? Because the way put it on was pretty good. Ohio Prepper, how you doing? Robbie the Ancients, hey Susanna. Car's Car, what's going on? Yeah, so for those of you that missed it on the show yesterday, we had Native up here for a little while, letting him give a little shout out to his channel and his new show. And I was actually a guest on the show last night at 9. It was me, Hutch from Hutch Homestead, and the Milkmaid. And his show is called The Setup. And what he does is he has 3 guests on there, and he spends the entire week coming up with these specific scenarios for each guest. And here's the crazy part. Not only does he come up with a scenario, but he comes up with caveats. We call them caviars to the scenario, depending on the choice that you make. He puts you in a situation where you got to turn left or right, and depending on what direction you go, he's got a whole complete different scenario for each direction you decide to take. So he puts a lot of time into it, and I'm here to tell you, I had an absolute blast last night. It was an awesome show. If you guys missed it, you definitely need to go watch it. Later on tonight, tomorrow, when you get a chance. But it's Native and Devout. If I have any mods in here, if you guys could drop his channel link, that would be awesome. If not, then I'll figure it out and drop it. But it's Native and Devout, or you can just search for it in the search bar. Native and Devout, boom, and it pops up. But yeah, definitely go over there and subscribe to that channel. He does it every Monday at 9. It was awesome. It was a blast. The Milkmaid whooped me and Hutch pretty good. Yeah, she did good. I really enjoyed my scenario. I kind of had my back against the wall. I went straight Negan. I felt bad for Hutch because Native just left him out in the woods with a dead hooker, a bag of weed, and no shoes. So he got drugged through the mud there for a little while. But it was a fun show. It's probably the funnest 2 hours I spent in a long time. It was a really good show. I'm looking forward to doing it again for sure. Yeah, Militant Roots, those were some real good scenarios. He put a lot. He put a lot of time into that show, and I appreciate Native for inviting me on there. It was awesome. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it is what it is. I can't go into detail on all of it. If you guys want to hear, if you guys want to hear my answers and go check out the show, you really should. It was a really cool show. And I still stand fast with all the answers I gave. That's exactly the way I would do it. At least I hope that's the way I would do it. But yeah, it was an awesome show. Off the wall, what's going on? Oh, cool. Native. Uh, Off the wall, drop natives links. That's cool. Boom, there it is. Pow. There it is for you guys. So definitely go check that out. And off the wall, if you would, I mean, you can post your link. You can post anybody in this room that wants their link posted. I have no problem sharing the love. So just drop it on in there. We'll do it till the Google mods tell us we can't, and we'll figure out another way to do it. Um, yeah, so it was an awesome show. Definitely go check it out. Okay, on to business. Oh, another fun thing I want to talk about. I watched the video of the Canadian prepper. He did that one chip challenge, that Packy challenge with the one nacho chip that's just doused in everything on the planet that can be hot. It's the one chip challenge. If you guys haven't seen people do this challenge, you should really do it. I almost peed myself watching some of these people almost die live on camera. But I got to tell you, man, the Canadian prepper, he rocked it. He ate the chip and didn't drink anything for like several minutes. You could tell it was kicking him in the pretty hard. But not only did he eat it and did the challenge, but he ate it and like legit talked the entire time and pretty much did a show while he was burning from the inside out. He did post a comment later after he did it that he almost called the ambulance because it got really, really bad there later on, like some massive pain in his stomach or something. I don't know if maybe he had an ulcer or whatever, but yeah, it's yeah. Don't anybody ask me to do that crap because I ain't doing it. I don't like hot food that much. I mean, jalapeno peppers a little bit, some cayenne peppers on my collard greens, but as far as just eating like the hottest thing on the planet just to see if I don't die, that's legitimately the challenge. Hey, eat it on live camera and let's see if you die. Yeah, I don't want to play that game. Yeah, I'm not doing that. So yeah, y'all keep those chips to yourself. But it was hilarious. So it was it was really funny. But yeah, so enough of that. On with the show. For those of you that know me, you guys know that I put a massive premium on food, and by doing that, I also long-term food storage. And I've had hundreds of questions about how I do this and how I do that. And for you guys, please be patient. But I am legitimately working on getting my studio set up. I'm moving slow. Still waiting on the back and the my noggin to heal up a little bit. I'm still kind of woozy if I get up too fast. But I'm working on getting my studio set up. And for those of you who don't know that, I had a really nice concussion a week ago today, so it was awesome. But yes, I'm getting my studio set up. The microphones and all that stuff are ordered. They should be here Thursday, I believe they said. So it'll be a nice mic, so my voice will sound good. Got a new camera coming, and I'm going to set it all up. And I've got a nice little area in the basement. I'm going to set it all up and have me a little studio, so it looks a little bit more professional. Especially if you're going to be doing a show like every single day, you know, it needs to look a little bit better than just me sitting in my bedroom at a laptop, having a conversation. But it'll work for now. But what I'm going to do is, hey, what's going on, Roman? Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I'm not sure what happened. It's some kind of, I think maybe it was like a blood pressure thing or something. It just bottomed out for some reason. And I went night right on the tile floor. It was awesome. But Ohio Prepper says make sure you get your potassium checked. I will. Yeah, I've got an appointment. It just takes forever to get anything done at the VA, especially with this pandemic crap going on. But I've been paying close attention to it, and I eat healthy. I don't have a crap diet. But yeah, I don't know. It was just a really weird out of left field thing. So hopefully I don't have to deal with that anymore. But yeah, so yeah, the long-term food storage, I'm a big fan of that. And there are several different ways to do it. And as soon as I get the studio set up, which will hopefully be, within the week, thank you, Hutch. I appreciate that, brother. You're always on thumb patrol. But, I'm going to do some detailed videos on, and I'm not going to say the correct way to do long-term food storage or the right way or the best way. I'm going to tell you how I do it. And I'm going to explain to you why I do it the way I do it. And if you choose to copy it and do your stuff that way, awesome. If you don't like the way I do it and you have a better way of doing it, that's still awesome. Just do it. Put the food up. That's the key. And everybody knows my affection for canning. I love canning food. That's why I do it live every week on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. We can live at the canning party. and we have an awesome, awesome. We have a blast. I mean, it's anywhere from 3 to 7 hours of streams. Those streams last for a while. Let's see. Roman says, "Ghost, did you get a CAT scan? X-ray done. My sister went down. It turns out she had a skull fracture she didn't know about." No, I have not had one done yet. I'm actually the appointment's supposed to be being set because I'm supposed to get a CAT scan every 6 months to check on the progression of my TBI, and I haven't had one in about a year and a half since all this COVID stuff hit. So I'm waiting to get that done. Pretty sure there's not a fracture. There was a massive knot on the back of the head, but and there was a loss of consciousness for a while. But I'm pretty sure it's not a fracture, but it's not even really sore anymore. So I got a pretty hard noggin, and it's not my first concussion. Hell, I've had several concussions, but it is what it is. But yeah, I'm going to start doing some detailed step-by-step videos. I'm going to really start to figure out how to do editing and all this good stuff so they look good. I would like them to look a little bit more professional, but also as long as the message getting out and the techniques are correct, I'm cool with that. I can always tweak it later. But like I said before, everybody knows I love to can, and there are many different ways for long-term food storage. You've seen people do the canning, which is awesome. That food is edible and ready to go and lasts for years and years and years. You've seen dehydration. You've seen people freezing stuff. You've seen oven canning. You've seen vacuum sealing, things like that. And I'll just be quite honest with you. I don't do any oven canning. And I don't vacuum seal anything in mason jars anymore. And this is just a personal choice for me. Hey, what's up, Roots? And the reason I don't vacuum seal in mason jars anymore, and I used to, I had, oh my goodness, hundreds of jars full of beans, full of rice, full of sugar and flour. And I took them all out and I resealed them in Mylar, simply because when I look at a ball jar, a mason jar, I want to see a meal. I want to see a ready to eat, right then, right there meal that I don't even have to heat up if I don't have access to a fire. Yeah, it's going to be cold, but the nutrition is still there. If I look at a mason jar full of dried beans, I'm not seeing a meal. I'm seeing, a couple of hours worth of work. I'm seeing water. I'm seeing all these different resources that I have to inject into that to make it an actual meal that's going to sustain me. Plus, vacuum sealed foods in Mylar bags, they actually travel better and pack better, and you don't have to worry about trying to shove 10 or 15 jars of mason jars in your bug out bag and those jars breaking. You can just shove a few Mylar bags in there and you're good, and you don't have to worry about damage or anything. Kicking Homestead, welcome. How you doing? Sherry Leach, hey. Moonlight Gypsy, what's going on? Bella Vista Farm, hello. Yeah, thank you, Bella. I like the way you put that. She says, don't get too wrapped up in the theater. Just keep up the good content. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But I'll just give you guys an example of the way I vacuum seal. Everybody does things differently. When I was doing it in the mason jars, I don't have the vacuum sealer, the whole thing that sits on the counter. I just use a brake bleeder, and it works really, really well. You just get the little adapter that goes on the top and pumps all the air out, and it works perfectly fine. But just as an example, like say my rice, I will right now go on record and I will challenge my technique for long-term storage of rice and even my beans. I'll go up against anybody. I don't think anybody's technique is better than mine, because what I did over the years is I just took bits and pieces of all these different ways to do it and I combined them. And people have asked me, how long do I think my rice is going to last? How long do I think my dried beans are going to last? They're going to be good until I get ready to eat them. I mean, that's my firm belief. They're going to be there. They're going to be good until I'm ready to eat them. And I'll explain to you what I do, like with my rice and my beans. When I go to the store and I bring rice and beans home, they go in the freezer for a minimum of 72 hours. I've got bags of beans in my freezer right now that have been in there for over a month, maybe 2 months. Because every time I go to the store, I get a few more bags and I just add them to the pile that's already in the freezer. And then when it gets full, I pull them out, I'll cook them, I'll can them, problem solved. And the same way with the rice, it gets frozen. Hey, what's going on, Crazy Irish? Hey, Bigfoot's giving us a raid. What's going on? Thank you, Bigfoot. That's awesome. That's all we got in here. Giggles Prep, live from Bigfoot, Alabama, Mark Bottoms. Diane Culver, hello. Cashew, what's going on, Cashew? Good to see you again. Susie D, Lake Fairy. Hey, Lake, what's going on? Gene J. Welcome, welcome. Crazy Irish. Willie D. Lorraine Edwards. Giggles. Kicker, what's up, brother? Susie D. Celestial Preps. I like that. That's a cool name. I like that. That's really cool. Chris Pyatt. What's up? Welcome, welcome, you guys. That's awesome. Is that my first raid? I think was the first one on this channel. I think. Oh wait a minute. I think North Shore's done it before on one of my shows. I believe. I'm not positive, but I believe so. Retreat. Appreciate it, Bigfoot. Thanks a lot, man. Y'all have a great day. Yeah, so what I do with my rice, we'll just say the rice, it goes in the freezer for a minimum of 72 hours. That's 3 days. So after your 3 days is done, you pull the rice out and you sit it on the counter. You don't sit it on stuff and you don't put stuff on top of it. You just sit it on the countertop or the kitchen table or wherever you want to do it. And you just let it sit for another 3 days. You want it to come back to room temperature gradually. You don't want to pull anything out of the freezer and immediately can it, or excuse me, immediately vacuum seal it or put it in a mason jar or anything like that, because there's a thing called condensation that happens when you get something really, really cold and something really, really hot, and there's going to be moisture buildup. Okay, it's going to happen. So you just sit it on the counter and you let it come back to room temperature. I do it for, two. I freeze it for 3. I thaw it for 3. Once it's at room temperature, what I do is I have the Mylar bags and I also have the oxygen absorbers. And I'm going to do a really cool video on oxygen absorbers, but I'll give you guys a rundown of it right now. An oxygen absorber is just iron shavings. It's powdered. It's powdered metal. It's iron, powdered iron. Okay, and it's not going to hurt you. The holes in the bag are big enough to let air molecules pass in and out, but the powder can't come out into your food. But the way it works is, you guys have heard of rust, correct? Great. Raw iron, when it comes in contact with oxygen, it immediately oxidizes and turns into rust. So an oxygen absorber is just a hunk of metal powder in your food that turns into rust. I know it sounds weird, but it's a chemical reaction, and what it does, it takes the oxygen out of the container that you put it in when you seal it up. So if you ever get an oxygen absorber and you squeeze it and it's powdery, then it's still good. If it's hard, throw it away. It ain't any good anymore. And what I do is I take one oxygen absorber, I put it in the Mylar bag with the portion that I measured out of rice, and then I have hair crimpers and I run across the top of the Mylar bag. I leave a little channel at the very end, and I take a vacuum cleaner I used to use in the house, and I put the hose on it, and then at the very end of the hose, I have duct tape. And I know it sounds redneck, but it works, and I've been using it for years. I duct tape a McDonald's straw to the end of this hose, so the straw is got super suction power. Then I slide the straw into the opening of the Mylar bag. Remember, I've left a little channel about as wide as your finger, and this has all been crimped. And I lay it down flat. I hit the vacuum cleaner. It sucks all of the air out of this thing, right? And I pinch the end of it, pull the straw out, and then I immediately crimp it really fast. Okay. Now, people say, why are you using an oxygen absorber and sealing it with a hair crimper? Why not? They're not very expensive, and I'm investing all the money in this food. So if I can have all these different techniques and ways to make sure oxygen isn't getting to it, that's what I'm going to do. So I put the oxygen, I freeze it, oxygen absorber, then it's vacuum sealed in Mylar. Okay. Then I take the Mylar bag with the rice in it, and then it goes into a container. It can be a tote from Walmart. It can be a cardboard box if you want it. I don't do the cardboard box. It can be a tote from Walmart. It can be a 5-gallon bucket, however you want to do it. The Mylar goes inside there. Then that container that it's sealed in, and I have them in 5-gallon buckets. Once that's done, I'll wipe down the bucket really, really well with an alcohol wipe. You can use Clorox and water mixture, whatever you want to do. The reason for this is you want to get any kind of scent of food or smell or anything on that container completely off, so it does not attract bugs. Now, granted, bugs can't chew through the container, but mice can. Rats can chew through a steel pipe. Okay, they can. But if they don't know there's food there, if they're not attracted to it, then they're not just going to come by and just randomly start chewing on your barrels. Then what I do is I paint the container, the bucket, whatever it is, because you do not want any sunlight getting to your food. Sunlight will shorten the lifespan of the food that you're putting up. So I froze it for the bugs, oxygen absorber, then I vacuum seal it. Then it goes inside another container, and then it's stored completely out of the sunlight. My containers, they're in the basement and they're under the shelves. They get no sunlight, so I haven't painted them because they don't get exposed to the sun. But if they were in an atmosphere where they were getting exposed to the sun even a little bit, I would paint them. I would not paint them black. Well, excuse me, I wouldn't paint them only black. What I would do is paint them black, like flat black, let it dry, and then paint the outside white. Because if it is in sunlight and you paint it black, now you've got a heat problem. Okay, so you definitely want it as black as possible to block all the sunlight, but then you want to coat the outside of the black with white so it reflects the light. So then you don't have a heat issue because you want the food to stay relatively in a stable environment temperature wise. And then what you do if you think you may have an issue with pests, you can always put you out some rat traps, but you get some food grade diatomaceous earth and you just sprinkle it on the floor, all in your basement or in the room or wherever you're at, where you store your food, because the hard shelled creatures, the creepy crawlies, diatomaceous earth takes care of them very, very quickly. But that's how I store my rice and beans, pasta, things like that for long term. And what it does doing it that way, and I portion it, I don't just get the 5-gallon bucket Mylar bags and fill it all the way up with 5 gallons worth of rice, because when you open it, now you've got 5 gallons of rice exposed to the atmosphere. What I do is I have the bags in smaller portion sizes. I believe they are, I want to say hang on. I want to say it's, those of you don't, this is one of my bags of rice that I resealed in July of 20. And as you can see, it's hard as a rock. It's like one of those bricks of coffee that you get. And this thing's, I want to say it's probably about 4 pounds of rice in here. And, but it's not necessarily portion size, but I can open this and it'll feed, myself and my family for the entire week. And obviously the rice isn't going to go bad in a week's time. But I don't have to expose an entire 5-gallon bucket worth of food, to the atmosphere. I just have them in these. And like I said, you can see here at the top, I crimp it all the way across and I'll leave this portion right here open. The straw goes in here, sucks all the air out, and then I pinch it right here, pull the straw out, and then I quickly take the crimpers and crimp the top. And this thing, it's rock solid. It's good. It's not going anywhere. And inside of here is rice and an oxygen absorber. And then this will go inside a bucket, container, anything like that, and then painted or shaded from the sun completely. That's the way I do the rice, and I can shove one of these in a bug out bag if I need to. And that is a good thing too, is they're not necessarily portion size, but if I want to share with somebody, if there's family members or neighbors that I'm taking care of that are watching out for me, instead of me having to open up, a 5-gallon bucket or dump stuff into a coffee cup, I can just go, boom, here. This is enough rice for you and your family of 3 for probably. If you portion it out, you can make this go a good couple of weeks. And it's just, yeah, that's the way I do the rice. But I will do a detailed video on that. I do the rice that way. I do the beans that way. And another thing too, it could be a weapon. Another thing too is, hang on, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Another thing too is, when you're getting Mylar bags, don't, get the assorted sizes. Don't get the 1-gallon ones and the half-quart ones and this and that and the other. Just get as many 5-gallon Mylar bags as you can. You want to know why? Because you can make those into any size you want, and it comes out way cheaper that way. Just get nothing but 5-gallon bags, 5-gallon Mylar bags, and then all you gotta do is just take some scissors and cut them. You take your crimper and you crimp those edges together, and you can make those bags as small as you want. You can take a 5-gallon Mylar bag and you can turn it into 4 or 5 of what I just showed you. It's very, very simple, very, very quick, very easy. And the thing about Mylar too is when you cut it and open it and dump the stuff out, rinse it out, let it dry, reuse it. reseal it. I mean, that it seals all the way down. I mean, you can Mylar can be used over and over and over again. Yeah, I see people cut it open and throw it away. I'm like, what are you doing? Rinse that thing out. If it had rice in it, rinse it out, let it dry, put more rice back into it. It's reusable. As long as you got room to reseal it, you're good to go. But yeah, so I'm a big fan of the vacuum sealing, but not in my mason jars. Those jars are expensive. And like I said before, I can't eat what's in that bag that I just showed you. It's good for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, but I can't eat it until it's been cooked and processed. Now, with rice, technically all you got to do is just put it in a bowl of water and let it sit for a little while, and it's just going to hydrate itself and it'll be rice. But like your beans and stuff like that, you're going to need to put some heat to them. Now, if they're already cooked and they've been pressure canned properly, all you have to do is open the jar and ring the dinner bell. There's no preparation. There's none of that. That's why I'm such a big fan of canning food. The vacuum sealing does, there's a huge amount of that here for me because number one, I don't have that many jars. If I did, I probably would can it all. But number two, that's long-term food storage. That's what I'm tapping into when my jars are running low, when it's time to can some more, when I'm running out of food, then I'm going into the long term. There's a reason it's called long-term. It's there for the long haul. I don't plan on eating that stuff for years. But the vacuum sealing is very important. My number one is canning. But I mean, you've got people that they do the dry canning and more power to them, rock and roll. Me personally, I want my jars to hold stuff that I can open and eat right then, right there. That's just, to me, that works, in the way I do it. But you've got water bath canning. I mean, that's, primarily for your jams and your jellies and your chutneys and chow chows and things like that. I think you can even water bath can green beans, but I choose to pressure can them anyway. So I don't do a whole lot of water bathing. I do it when I make my jams and jellies, and usually I'll make, a couple cases of those, and those last for, years. Jams and jellies are easy. It's some of your tomatoes and your different sauces can be water bath canned too, but I'm just a pressure canning fan. I just love pressure canning. That's just the way to go for me. Hey, Milkmaid, what's going on? Monty, what's up? Yeah, so you've got your vacuum sealing, you've got your canning. I mean, you've got to preserve meat, you can salt it. I've never done that. My grandparents and great grandparents did. I've seen the process several times. I've never actually done it. I do have quite a bit of salt put away, but I don't have enough put away to go out hunting, dropping a deer, and salting several hundred pounds of venison. That's one of the reasons why I plan on doing a live canning stream from the woods out back. I'm gonna build a Dakota fire pit or a rocket stove, probably a rocket stove. I'm gonna build a big rocket stove out of cinder blocks, and I'm gonna can over an open fire. Just because in a grid down situation, if say I do go hunting and I drop a deer and I've got 100 pound of venison, I gotta either do something with or eat it right then and there, but I don't have any power, then I know I can just portion it up, put it in some jars, and pressure can it in an off-grid SHTF situation and preserve that food without having to dig into my salt stores. So that's one of the reasons why I want to do that, and I know it's doable. I just got to get the time to get the rocket stove built and test it out and do it. But the thing is, it doesn't matter what technique you choose. You want to choose a technique that works for you, and you want to research it and you want to practice it and you want to do it. I'm muted, or you guys can hear me, right? Gareth Singleton says you are muted. Am I muted? Have I been talking like for an hour and a half an hour and I'm muted? Okay, Yankee says they're good. Sherry Leach says, do I have a smoker? No, I do not, Sherry. I don't even have a grill to cook out back. I'm not a big cook on the grill kind of guy. I never really was that into it. I mean, I've done barbecues and things like that, but I don't have a big, nice grill. I got a big fireplace. If I need to cook, boom, there's my grill. Or just do it over an open fire. But no, I don't have a smoker. Muffled. Okay, I'll get a little closer. Yeah, I apologize. Like I said, my microphone's coming. It'll be here. It's supposed to be here Thursday. I'm not that tech savvy, so it may take me a week to figure out how to plug the thing up and make it work, but we'll figure it out. But The let's see, what other kind of food storage are you guys interested in talking about that I can speak on that I know a little bit about? You know, and the thing about your canned foods that you buy from the store and all these things, everybody looks at that date. It says best by date. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the food a month to a year, 2 years after that date's already expired. All it means, the reason they come up with that date, and I can't prove it, but this is an honest opinion. That date's there because the manufacturer wants it there because they want you to read it and they want you to freak out, throw it away, and go buy another one. Okay. Um, let's say that isn't the reason. Well, then it's the FDA saying that's the estimated time that they have decided, which is usually 12 to 18 months after it was canned, that the nutrition is going to start to decrease the amount of nutrition that's in the jar. It doesn't mean the food isn't any good. It just means if it started out at 100% nutritional value and it hits that date, and all of a sudden it's going to start decreasing. So a year past that expiration date, it's not 100% nutritional value anymore. It's 98. I'll take 98. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I don't even worry about that stuff at all. Off the wall. You stop it. Flour, sugar, salt. I vacuum seal all that. I still actually have sugar and flour still in the mason jars. That's the only things I haven't pulled out yet. But I'm gonna get those pulled out and get those sealed up in Mylar. Tips for first time pressure canners. Absolutely, Hillbilly. Here's my tip. Join us on Saturday at 8 o'clock. I got a panel full of awesome canimals, and they can pretty much answer any questions you want. And the tips for a first time canner: get it out of the box, get some food in some jars, and just start canning. I mean, you gotta get over the hump. The faster you get over the hump, the quicker you'll be able to put food up. I mean, I've had so many people come on the show and can with me and the Canimals for the first time, and they're so mad at themselves because they waited so long. I mean, look at Prepper Tribe. He started canning with us 3 weeks ago. He hasn't stopped yet. I mean, he cans every single day, and he's mad at himself because his canner sat on the shelf in the box for 13 years. And right now he's going, man, imagine how much food I could have put up if I'd have started doing this 13 years ago and I got the canner. I'm like, yeah, I know. Ghost has his angry hat on. Oh, no. That's my Sons of Liberty. Yeah, first time pressure canners, get started as fast as humanly possible. Start with something quick and easy. Potatoes. There's not a whole lot of processing time to those. You just peel them, parboil them, boom, put them in there, rock and roll. And if you don't want to parboil them, you don't have to do that. I do the parboiling just to get rid of some of the starch. Hamburger meat. I mean, beans, any kind of beans. It's a very, very simple process. The hardest part about canning is getting the prep done and getting all the stuff set up and ready, and then cleaning up afterwards. The actual pressure canning is stupid easy. I mean, it's literally it's awesome. Flour you can store in Milo with O2. Yep. And the way I do the flour, and I even vacuum seal it, and I figured out a way to do it. And what I do is I take a coffee filter and I put it over the end of the straw when I'm doing the vacuum, and that way it catches the powder, but it still sucks the air out really, really quick. So I do oxygen absorber and I vacuum seal it. I did the same thing with the flour in the mason jars. I just took a coffee filter and I pushed it in the top of the jar and I pushed it out around the edges, and then I vacuum sealed it real quick with a brake bleeder, and it worked perfect. Yeah, I know I was a little bit muffled. If I sit back from the camera, for some reason, I get an echo. So that's why I try to get a little bit closer to the microphone. Let's see what we got. Do not move. Yeah, I learned that the hard way, Tiger. So now the sugar and salt, I just vacuum seal it. I don't do oxygen absorbers. Yeah, it does. It makes them hard as a brick. I mean, they're hard as a brick, but they're still completely usable. You just chip you off a little bit, or however you want to do it. But they're still edible and usable. It's just they are hard as a brick. I learned the hard way because I did it in a big half-gallon mason jar the first time. Yeah, I had to go in there with. I almost destroyed the jar trying to get it out. What's up, Arkansas living? Dragonflies, bug dude, what's going on? Ghost. See, Shirley wants to know what a brake bleeder is. Hang on, and I will show you. I was going to save this for a video, but I'll just go ahead and show you right now. This is a brake bleeder. It's something that mechanics use. You can get this on Amazon. Where I literally want to say it's like either 12 or 20 bucks. They're not very expensive. It comes in a little toolbox with different adapters and stuff to it. But it's got a pressure gauge on it. Got the little hose and a little nipple on the end. And here's what you do. You can order these off Amazon too. These are with the these come with the food saver. I just didn't buy the food saver. These things fit on the rings on top of the jars. And I'll show you how they work. Here's a jar. It's completely unsealed. All right. The lid on it. It's shoved down on just like that. Brake bleeder, the tip. You just hold it in this little hole in the top. You just push it down with your hands. You guys can see it. Just hold it in there like that, and you grab the brake bleeder and you just pump it. I just do it like 20 or 30 times or so. You pull it out. Okay. Now, say if this was full of rice or beans or whatever, and you notice the ring isn't on it yet, you pull that off. If you want to store it with a ring, you can. But you know, this thing is sealed. Quick, doesn't require any electricity. You can vacuum seal, just sitting at your house. Put a $20 brake bleeder that people use to bleed the brakes on bleed the brakes on their car. Yeah, these things are awesome. But that was your brake bleeder. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, you can get them off Amazon. I need to go ahead and do that affiliate thing. I've been sending Amazon a crap load of business. They can be, you know, give me a little piece of that. I need to figure out how to do that stuff. It sucks being single because if I had like a girlfriend or a wife and I do this stuff, then she could like organize it. But because I'm the most unorganized person on the planet. Look it off the wall. She's busy, boy. She's slamming those links in there right and left. Yeah, desiccant would help with the salt. But like I said, I don't really. Yeah, it gets hard, but I mean, I just just cracking it with a spoon a couple times, and it's works. It's a pain though. I mean, it's not very pretty to the eyes when it's hard as a rock, but it's still salt. It's still sugar. It doesn't bother me if it gets hard a little bit. I mean, if I have to tap into that stuff to survive, then there's going to be a whole lot of worse things going on in the world around me to where I'll be able to like really not care if my salt and my sugar is clumped up. Yeah, I'm telling you, I went one day and I vacuum sealed probably 30 cases worth of 30 cases worth of beans and rice and flour and sugar with that thing, and my arm was just dead. And then I ended up taking them all out and putting them in my Mylar bag. So yeah, in the butt. It takes the air out really, really quick. Your Huckleberry, what's going on? Yeah, so the my main, the vacuum sealing and the canning are obviously my main go-tos as far as food preservation, other than the dry goods that I already have stocked up and stored up. But you know, the most important part of long-term food storage isn't how you store it or what you put it in or the equipment that you use to do it or how good your canner is. The most important thing about long-term food storage is the word storage. Okay, how you store it. In as it needs to be in a cool, dry, dark place. I mean, as no sunlight. Your light, from the lights that you turn on when you go in there, that's fine. That's not going to hurt it. But you want to like not have that stuff in direct sunlight at all. That's going to greatly increase the longevity and the life of the food that you're storing. You want the temperature in the room where it's at to be as stable as possible. In a perfect world, a root cellar, a basement, temperature controlled area. Like my basement stays in mid to high 60s all year. Summer, winter, it doesn't matter. Last winter, I was in the basement in shorts and a tank top working on my rabbit cages, and it was 20 degrees outside, and it was still 68 in my basement. So you want it to be as stable a temperature. You don't want it to be a huge variation. You don't want it to be, you don't want it to get down to 50 in the winter and 80 in the summer. That's just going to stress the food too much. You want it to be as stable as possible. And I know sometimes that isn't possible. It doesn't mean the food isn't any good. It just means that the longevity isn't going to be there. Instead of you getting 20 years out of it, you might only get 12 or 10. So the storage part of long-term food storage is the most important word in that statement. Probably so, Bug. I believe, yeah. Probably over, yeah, definitely. That's my key to the food storage. It doesn't matter how you can have an All American, the biggest one they make. Spend $500 on a pressure canner, spend amazing amounts of money on all this cool equipment that you use to put it up. Your food saver, your dehydrators, all this stuff. But if you don't store it correctly, all that's out the window. So the most important part of that is the storage part. Yeah. Food. I just left there today. Went and picked up some stuff, and I got to tell you this thing about the food. Is there a food shortage? Is there not a food shortage? Yes, there's a food shortage. All right. You got to think about this conditioning of the mind. All right. I don't care where you're at right now. If you go into a grocery store, it does not look the way it looked 2 years ago. 9 out of 10 times, unless it's a small mom and pop store, and they're always just full of stuff. But any of your Walmarts, if you go in there right now, you might go, "Oh yeah, the shelves are full." Not like they were 2 years ago. You've been conditioned to expect less every single time you went there because it was a shock. I mean, they shock trooped us. I mean, they went there and emptied the shelves and then bring back a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. They found what the comfort level of having just enough there. So yeah, there's a food shortage going on right now, and I think it's going to get worse. But and it's a revolving shortage. It's like, you know, one day you can't find any potato chips. 2 days later, there's potato chips out the yin yang. The next day it's milk and eggs that are short on. The next day it's paper products. Then it's candy. I mean, and that tells me it's a supply issue. There's not enough trucks to get all the stuff there because Walmart does a lot of their stuff from their main warehouses. They'll have warehouses staged, in different places across the country, and they'll have their own trucks bring their own stuff to them. Um, so if they're limited on if the demand is high and the supply can't be met, I may if I'm in charge of a Walmart, what's behind me? What are you talking But if I'm in charge of a Walmart and I'm making my order, say, you order once a week for your Walmart store and you get it on Saturday. Well, before maybe you would get, 2 or 3 truckloads in that week. Well, maybe this week you're only going to get one. So instead of you getting 2 pallets of water or 2 pallets of potato chips, you only get one. So you're getting half as much delivered to you. So everything you're ordering has to be cut in half. So you're rationing. I mean, they're rationing for us on the shelves. So that's at least that's the way it makes sense to me by seeing what I see and how it's revolving because they're still getting the product. It's just the amount is a lot smaller. Why would I look behind me? There's nothing behind me but a wall. I'm looking at it right now. But that's my idea, at least on the food shortage end of it. Um, but does anybody have any questions on any of the food storage stuff that we talked about so far? 4 months ago, bought spaghetti sauce Best Buy date January 23. Purchased more today, and the Best Buy date for February 23. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The stocks are wearing down. The store, they have so much stored up that's what they're pulling from. It's yeah. I don't know how to do that. Yeah, every now and then I smile. I'm not a smiley tiny person. That Butterball turkey recall makes me say, yeah. Well, I mean, think about it this way too, G. And I was thinking about that myself. You know, maybe it's not a recall because there's anything wrong with the meat. Maybe they just don't want you to get it. Maybe it's going somewhere else. Maybe it's been earmarked to go somewhere else. You know, it's funny that all the recalls just happen to be on canned meat. Hmm. Yeah. 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 Something about that doesn't make sense. Yeah, you can save your empty soda bottles and tap and don't buy the water. Do not save your milk jugs, people. Okay, you don't want to do milk jugs to save water in it because there's a really good chance there's no way in the world you can wash it enough to get all that bacteria out of there from the milk. You do not want to use milk jugs to store water unless something else was in it. Like I store water in milk jugs, but it's milk jugs that had iced tea in it. They were manufactured for iced tea. I use those, and they're thicker than the regular milk jugs. They're actually really thick. They're awesome. But yeah, do not use milk jugs to store water. That you will get sick. There's a good chance you will get sick. I wouldn't do it, even if it was rinsed out with Clorox and water. I wouldn't take a chance. Root says store she shops online, small town, limited, but been canceling orders for lack of product. Shampoo, that yeah, yeah, it's gonna get, and I think this is just the beginning. I think January and February are gonna suck. I hate to say it. I think January and February are gonna really suck. Moose, you're right. Well, thank you, Dragonfly. I appreciate that. Yep. Yes, I don't. You know, the further I can get away from mainstream food production, the better for me. That's why I did the experimental garden this year. You know, I'm going to stick with that. Uh, just to kind of get a feel for the area I'm in, what grows and how it grows, and what I can expect from rabbit manure. And a lot of you guys saw those videos. Now, the buckets that have the okra in it, there's no soil in those buckets at all. I filled those buckets up full of nothing but rabbit manure, and there was a little bit of straw that was mixed in from the manure. That's all I put in the bucket, and that was because Prepper Tribe dared me to do it because I was bragging on how good rabbit manure is. Well, why do you use dirt at all? Just use rabbit manure. I'm like, well, I will. So I planted some stuff in just rabbit manure, and it exploded. Those okra, they're taller than me, and I'm 6'2", and I have not done anything with them other than put them in the rabbit manure and water them. And the cool thing is that the buckets were completely full. Now the amount of manure that's in them is dropped down to where it's only about 1/3 from the bottom. It's less than half. So the plant is actually consuming the nutrients in the rabbit manure, and the rabbit manure is going away. I put no fertilizer in there. All I did was water it. That was it. So yeah, rabbit manure works. Even by itself, it works. So it's pretty cool experiment. But yeah, I think think probably I need to do a 2,500 subscriber giveaway because I think we'll do that tomorrow night. Tomorrow night I'm going to do a 2,500 sub giveaway. I'm obviously over 2,500. I'm almost at 27. The only reason I waited was because I was at like 2,560, and then I started the Ghost Canner channel, and all of a sudden my subs dropped that back to like 2,440, and I'm like, well, what the? I just lost 100 subs overnight. What's going on? And it was because I switched over to the Ghost Canner channel, and I wasn't doing lives on this channel. I don't know. I guess YouTube got mad at me or something. I don't know. So I switched everything back over to here. I'm still doing the Ghost Canner channel. I'm going to grow it on its own separately just for the canning, but that'll take time. But yeah, so now I'm back over the 2,500 mark. So I need to do a giveaway. And I think what I'm gonna do is just a seed giveaway from all the stuff that I grew in the garden. I've got okra, uh, bell peppers, banana peppers, cayenne peppers, tomatoes, the big Zack tomatoes, the big monstrous big Zack tomatoes. I have some Cherokee purple seeds, and I've got seeds from that 20-pound cantaloupe that I bought. I saved those seeds as well. So yeah, I'm gonna do like 2,500 sub giveaway, and probably what I think I'm gonna do is just tomorrow I'll just like pick a number between, say, 1 and 50, and the first 3 people that get it right, I'll send 3 people, an envelope full of seeds from the combat garden that I grew this last year. Let's see if anybody's going to ask me questions. Did it taste like it tastes? It's some of the best okra you'll ever taste. It's really really good. I just can't. Rabbit manure, man. That stuff just rocks. It's garden gold. Thanks, Georgia Peach. And Dale Homestead. Hello, Ghost Pepper. I'm here for North Shore Preparedness for. Oh, sweet. Well, thank you very much. And the next time you talk to Sean, tell him I said thank you for sending you over this way. You're welcome. Welcome, welcome. All right, what happened? The chat just does that. I just lose my place. Hey, what's going on, Teresa? Let's see what we got. Oh, raising turkeys. I had those when I was growing up as a kid on the farm, man. We had one male turkey, and he was just, man, he was the meanest animal on the planet. That man, he would just attack you. Hey, what's going on, Lee? I emailed you back, by the way. What's going on? If I'm missing anybody, I don't believe so. All right, guys, hit me up with some questions or something. Okay. I might not give you the right answer, but I'll try. We're approaching the hour mark. Don't have anything else for food storage. I'll go ahead and shut it down and start working on tomorrow night's show. But I'll do the members only chat for a while if you guys want to hang out. Good night, Leslie. We'll see you another time. All right, well, I'm going to switch it over to members only and spend a little time with the members and do some Q&A with the members. And then for all the rest of you guys in the chat, all you subscribers, thanks for your subscriptions. I do really appreciate you guys hanging out, and make sure to check us out tomorrow night. I'm going to see if I can remember how to switch this thing back over, and we'll do a little members only here for a little while. I'll just bear with me. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Southwest dropped the mandate challenge. That's pretty good challenge. I like that. Southwest dropped the mandate challenge. That's really good. I like that. Well, what's going on? Why is this taking so long? Okay, here we go. All you guys in the chat for hanging out, man. I really appreciate it. And Dale, I'm in North Carolina too, New Rockingham. Let's see. All right, I'm switching over to members only, guys. So if you're in the chat, I am sorry, but I gotta give my members a little bit of special attention. If you are interested in joining the membership, just hit that join button. It's $1.99. For that, it's completely cool. I understand, no hard feelings, and we will see you tomorrow. Okay, I wonder if that did anything. Oh, dude. All right, I think we're on members only mode right now. I'm not positive, but I think. I don't know. Could be. But yeah. So What do you guys got for me? Do you guys have anything for me? Do you want to talk to me? Am I talking to myself? Virginia Roots. I just work here. That's good. I like that. Okay, yeah. So we're on the members only. All right, cool. It works. Took me forever to figure this stuff out, but yeah, it was. YouTube has all these weird buttons and functions and things you can do as a content creator, but they don't tell you how it works. It's like when they started the membership thing. Oh, you can do all these crazy cool stuff. Members only this, but they don't show you how to do it, which is yeah. They're like figure it out on your own. Great. So yeah, pain in the butt. Pain in the butt. So how's everybody doing today? Roots just got a food saver. Is it worth doing flour in those bags? And if not, can my mylar be sealed? I have seen people use some mylar in food savers. I've never done it before. I I guess the flour would be fine in those bags, but I'm pretty sure Food Saver, the corporation, probably sells mylar bags. I would think. I mean, if somebody hasn't invented a way to do mylar in a food saver, that's just ridiculous. They ought to have. Oh, Tiger's canning. What are you canning? I hear you, Mark. Prep, prep, prep. Um, yeah, Roots. I mean, I get. I mean, if you're doing the food saver, it's sucking the air. I just do the oxygen absorber just in case there's a slow leak, and I vacuum seal it. Even like I've got a couple of bags downstairs that when I first, several years ago, I just did the like they show you on some videos. Just throw the oxygen absorber in there and seal it, and it'll suck the air out. Yeah, bullshit. It doesn't work. I've got some bags that it never sucked the air out. I mean, most of your oxygen absorbers are made in China, so I'm not going to rely on them. That's why I started vacuum sealing after I put the oxygen absorber in there because sometimes it didn't do anything. So I just do both. Ooh, Tiger's cannon sausage and chicken soup. Ooh, and then the broth and then potatoes. Wow, you got your work cut out for you. That's a good question, Roots. Tiger Roots wants to know if she can do the plums. Yes. Your kid, we are listening. My kiddos want to listen while getting ready for bed. They like the sound of your voice. That's cool. Aren't you guys supposed to be asleep by now? I would read you a bedtime story, but I don't have any books. Well, not like kid books, like grown up prep books and stuff. Ooh, canning some barbecue chicken now. That sounds good. I just finished up eating the last of the pulled pork that I put up Saturday night. I had some left over in the fridge and I ate on it for the last couple nights. It was delicious. Those stories before bed, that's a good one. I wonder how much my voice is going to change when I get that good professional microphone in the mail on Thursday. I don't really have any ghost stories. Is there anything I won't can? No, I'll try it. If I think it'll work, I'll do it. And I'll wait 3 months and taste it and see if I don't die. But I mean, I've canned milk. I haven't canned fish yet, but I need to. No, I don't. I mean, if you can go to the store and buy it and it's canned, then you can can it at home. I don't care what anybody says. But you can buy canned milk, so don't tell me I can't can milk. I've been canning milk for 3 years. I'm fine. I used whole milk, and there's like so many different recipes that you can get online and YouTube about canning milk. And from what I understand, the process it varies a lot, but the longer you process it, the more rich and the sweeter it gets. I just did mine for 10 minutes, and it turned out fine. I just, it makes the best macaroni and cheese. It like uh, the canned milk makes the best macaroni and cheese and mashed potatoes on the planet. I use the canned milk. I use the potatoes that I've already canned up, and then I used the ghee that we canned up, and like all that comes off out of my preps. The potatoes have been canned for 2 years. The ghee we did a few months ago, and the milk I did a year ago, and just mix it all up. It's the best mashed potatoes there are. Delicious. Mm. Oh, Moose was a professional canner. That's why he spits all that knowledge out there. Yeah, the whole milk does the evaporated, and it's good. And you can add water back to it and stir it up, and it dilutes the sweet, and it goes back to. It's never going to go back to tasting just like whole milk, but for people that are used to milk with cereal and stuff, that would work. I mean, in places like South America, they don't get whole milk. All they get is canned milk, so that's what they use. And that's what they drink, and they're used to it. Their palates are used to it. But it does have a really sweet taste to it. Homestead Heart just did a video for salmon and milk. Oh, okay. I love that channel, by the way. Homestead Heart's awesome. Yeah, evaporated milk for mac and cheese. Oh, best. Yep, cold weather's coming. That's one of the great things about cold canning in the wintertime, because when you can in the wintertime, man, it just heats up your whole house. Cool. I didn't know that. Moose was a professional canner. That's pretty awesome. How did I make their night, Leslie? I didn't do anything other than saying hello. If I knew their names, I'd say hello directly to them. Hey, Leslie's little munchkins. Aren't y'all supposed to be asleep right now? Don't make me come over there. No, I do not, but I have actually had several requests on doing cooking shows, and actually using my preps and doing videos on that. And I think that's what I'm gonna do on the Ghost Canner channel. I'm gonna have canning how-to videos. I'll eventually switch the canning party live stream over to the Ghost Canner channel, but I think I'm gonna do recipes and little tips and tricks over there as well. Ah, Tiger, that's my next project. I have the wax is sitting in the kitchen right now, and I actually went out and got like 4 pounds of cheese one day, and I was gonna wax them. But I love cheese, and that 4 pounds of mild cheddar did not last very long in this house. I mean, I think I have like a pound of it left, maybe a half pound left. I already ate it all, so I gotta go get some more cheese and then do the waxing. But no, I haven't done it yet. I watched Rudy do it a few times. A couple of the people, I like his technique, so I'm gonna do it that way. Gonna do a Thanksgiving leftover show. I am. No, you can't can gravies, nothing with a thickener in it. But like, I've still got canned ham downstairs that I canned after Christmas and Thanksgiving last year, because the week after Thanksgiving and the week after Christmas, or the week mainly the week after Christmas, you can go into the store and you can find those hams and turkeys. They're like half price. I get them. I get one of each, and boom, they go straight into the jars. Yeah, I know that feeling. Angela B, when I moved back up here from Florida, I had to move all my preps and everything with me. That was rough. Oh, it's getting cold in New Jersey. Had to turn the heat on. Yeah, we love it when you're there, Teresa. Yeah, there's so many ways to preserve food, like legit, so many ways. Back in the old days, I haven't done any research on it, but I know in the old days they water bath canned meat and everything, but you had to like process it for like a week and a half or some ridiculous amount of time. Expecting huge winds here on Thursday. Wow. Yep. Watch some trees. Got firewood for next year. I've never done any fermenting. I would like to learn it though. But I've just I've never done it because I've never really ate a whole lot of fermented food. Living next door, yeah, that makes it a lot easier. Boom. There you go, Teresa. Join us. Yeah, so tomorrow I'm trying to. I wanted to try to do like channel spotlights, kind of like what I did with Native last night on the channel. You know, before he went live. So I'm gonna try to. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I'll try to find like a new channel, a small channel, and bring them on and let them do the thing. I think Thursday. You know what? No, I can do the channel shout out on Thursday, and I'll do it with Off the Wall. You still in here? I got your email. You said Tuesday or Thursday, right? We'll figure it out tomorrow. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll talk about something. We'll figure it out one way or the other. But, all right, guys. If nobody has anything else for me, I think I'm going to go ahead and shut it down and get a little food in my belly. We've been talking about food for an hour. I'm getting hungry. So if nobody has anything else for me, I believe I'm going to shut her down. It goes live at when? Tonight? Oh, that's right. He is going live again tonight. What was that? Yeah, that's native. Yeah, I saw it. I saw that. He posted that this morning. Yeah, he goes live tonight at 9. So you guys make sure you go check him out. All right, I'm gonna get off here, guys. Everybody in the chat, well, all you members, I appreciate it. All the moderators, thank you very much. I appreciate all the hard work you do. And I will see you guys and talk to you guys maybe later on tonight in somebody's channel or in somebody's chat. If not, definitely tomorrow at 7 p.m. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll see y'all later. Have a good one.